Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy, Moving On Out. And today I just wanted to touch on a subject that has always kind of irked me for as long as I can remember. And that is the subject of the sport of football. Now, before I get into everything, I just want to make this point very, very clear. And that is that I don't hate football. If you like football, that's great. That's awesome. I have nothing against the sport and what it's for and what it's about. I think that I think it. I mean, I've never obviously played football to what I'm getting at, but I imagine that it teaches you a lot of life lessons and all that. It's a sport, so it keeps you fit, and that's great. But I've never been into the sport. I never played the sport. I've been exposed to watching it many, many times, and I can safely say that I'm not a fan of it, and that I think that is generally looked at as something that's weird if you don't like football. And for your superficial American male, that when you say that you don't like football or you're not into football, that's weird. You're looked at like you're weird or something's wrong with you. And believe me, I've told people this throughout my years, and I get the same reaction over and over again. And well, when I was in high school, everyone would go to the games. Everyone it was a big social event, and everybody would talk about them. And people would ask me like, "Oh, were you at the game? Did you do that?" I'm like, "No, I never went to the game." Well, why not? Well, why not? Why didn't you go? And I'm like, "Well, I don't really like football." And they're like, they look at me like I told them I just had AIDS or something like that. Like, it was awkward, and I felt weird. I felt I felt weird. I felt like something was wrong with me, and well, when I worked overnight at Target, I worked 2 years at Target, and I worked overnight, like I just said, and everybody would talk about football. That's like the only thing that fucking people talked about was football. And of course, I didn't talk about it because I didn't know shit. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know anything about the damn sport. So one night, this guy that I work with, he came up to me and he started talking about this one game that just happened, that happened the night before. And he was asking me all these questions about like how the game played out. How'd you feel about this and how'd you feel about that? How'd you feel about this player and how he put? And I had to stop him in the middle of what he was saying, in the most non-rude way possible, so I didn't look like a fucking jerk. And I had to say, dude, I I don't really like football. I don't really care for the sport, to be honest with you. And if you're gonna have, we can talk about things, but I don't really know much about football, so I'm not the person to kind of have this conversation with. And I can't even put into words his facial expression and his reaction to that. He looked at me like I was a fucking freak, and he said, I don't think I've ever met a guy our age, because he was around the same age as me, that doesn't like football. And once again, I felt like a douche. I felt, and maybe I was. Maybe there's something wrong with me, you know. But I never liked the sport. I never got into it, and I feel like when you're around most people and you say that, that's just weird. It's weird. And still to this day, I feel like an ass when I tell people that. I didn't even know the Super Bowl was about to happen, like 2 or 3 days before the Super Bowl was about to, go on. I didn't even know. I watched a commercial and they said, I'm like, wait, whoa, is the Super Bowl this weekend? And my mom, for Christ's sakes, was like, yeah, And by the way, I'm not saying that women don't like football, and because overnight there was a lot of females that love the sport too and talked and knew way more than me. So I'm not getting that at all. I'm saying that I feel like everyone just loves football, and I don't. And like I just said, I didn't even know that the Super Bowl was happening. I didn't even know that. I didn't even care. And I don't know, man. I guess I'm just a freak. Or a fucking nerd. A big fucking nerd, I guess is what I really am. But that was really all I had to talk about. Once again, nothing against the sport. I'm just not into it. I never was. And I never will be. And for those of you who like football, that's great. And if you like football, you probably won't like this video, and you're probably going to hit the dislike button. But if you did like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Once again, it's your boy, moving on out. And I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.